Hey everybody, this is going to be a product review, product test, I guess you would call it. Not really a fair test, but an educational test, an informative test. So what I'm going to be doing is I have a NOOIE outdoor camera and I have it set up in a backyard, taped to the bottom rung of a ladder, and I kept it out there for 24 hours. And I'll explain that in a minute, but the video is going to be going on for a long time, so I can talk while I'm doing this. Okay, so the NOOIE outdoor camera is taped to a ladder, and I set it up at about 2 or 3 in the afternoon, and I come back the next day at about 10 in the morning. And I have it set for, I believe I have it set for auto. With the NOOIE outdoor cam, you either have, you don't have really a lot of options for night vision. You have night vision off or auto. Those are the only settings. There's no night vision on. It's off or auto. And it seems to do fairly well with the switchover. There are some times when the sun starts to set or the sun starts to rise in the morning, and for just a few seconds the camera you can tell that the camera is switching over to the new setting, but it's okay. We are probably looking at maybe, this is just looking across a backyard, maybe 15, 20 feet, maybe 25 at the most. I wouldn't even say that. Probably 15, 20. So I show some day vision looking against a building, I guess a garage next to it. I show that. You see the yard, and you see the lawn. You see some traps out on the ground because I was trying to figure out what the heck's going on there. There is definitely a gopher problem, but as you see in the video, something pops into view. Now, about 2 years ago, there were raccoons in this yard, and a raccoon trapper was hired, got the mother, I think the mother, I don't know if the mother was pregnant, but got the mother and got 2 others, and the cost of trapping is like $150 an animal, so it's absolutely ridiculous to do. So that only lasted a short time and then fell apart. I don't know about your state, in California, it is illegal to trap a raccoon unless you have a hired licensed trapper. And from what I found out, what they do is they catch a lot of these during the day. This is big business for them. Lots of money, big business. They trap the raccoon. You call them up. You tell them it's in the cage. They come over within so many hours. The raccoon is absolutely going nuts in the cage, trying to get out. It will relax for a while, but you can see the stress level is up, which is not good for its health. And then they take it and they put it in a truck, and they drive around all day with all the trapped animals in the smelly SUV or pickup truck. Absolutely disgusting. And then, from what I understand, legally they have to relocate them to a certain place, and usually it's up in the mountains or the hills somewhere around here. I don't know. I spoke with somebody who owned the business, and I don't know for sure, but it sounded like they were going to take the trap over to the backyard of this person's house until they were able to get somebody to come over and one of their employees to pick it up and relocate it. So it's kind of a sad, torturous catch in the long run. And then from what I was told, they relocate them since they don't know where they're going. You know, they're comfortable in a backyard, they're comfortable, that's their home, they know they're predators, they know where they're supposed to hide out, and once they're relocated, they're out in the middle of nowhere, they are scared, they're petrified, and just from the stress alone, I was told that they usually don't survive too long, and if they do, they won't survive long because they're trying to figure out where their predators are and trying to find out where food is, and so you end up paying $150 for them pretty much to torment them, and, well, they don't survive. or they don't survive long. The city used to do this years ago. They used to pick up rodents and raccoons. They would leave cages. They would pick them up. They would do that. And now, you know, with budgets, the city doesn't want to deal with any of that stuff. So they just, you either leave it alone or you pay the money to take care of it temporarily. So, and they had said when the trappers were out, they said the odds are that we're not going to get all of them, and even if we do get all of them, they're going to keep coming back because that's just a reality. There are raccoons and rats and rodents all over every city, including LA, and obviously we're going to see that in the video. Second camera that I'm using, and this is where the review, not really a review, just a test. I have a WYZE, I think it's called WYZE, the WYZE. It's their indoor cam. And I know that's where it's not fair because they don't make an outdoor cam yet. And so all I did is I took the indoor cam and I put it outside, stuck it on the outside. There's an air conditioning unit they've got in the backyard. So I put it on there with a magnetic thing. And in the video you can see some of what WYZE does. Considering it's a smaller camera, it's probably, I don't know, but I'm assuming it's a smaller sensor. I would think the night vision is not going to be as good with the WYZE because it's a smaller, I think it's a smaller lens, a smaller sensor, a smaller camera. The WYZE does okay to a point. You definitely need to sync the time with your cell phone to the camera because when you look at the file, when you look at their files on the SD card, I don't even understand it. They've got, in fact, I don't even know how this can work because I'm looking right now at the file thing. It says 58.mpg, 58.mpg, 58.mpg. All these files are duplicated. I don't know how this is possible without messing up the Windows file system. Maybe I have to go look again and see what they're doing besides this number. But you have a whole bunch of 58, and what that means is it's the minute. Okay, let me go back to NOOIE. NOOIE records 5-minute files at a time on the SD card. 5-minute video. What am I trying to say? 5 minutes of video, and you can look at the time. You can look at the file name and figure out what the timestamp is, and it's pretty easy to do. It just the file name is the timestamp. Whereas with the WYZE, you just get a whole bunch of 58, 58, or 59, 60, or 01, 02. That means the minute that it started the recording. And as I said, they save their files in minute segments. So if you were going to be recording something that goes for 2 hours, you were going to have something like 58. How do I want to say this? Let's say that it starts recording at 12:05. You might have, I still haven't figured it out completely, but if it starts at 12:05, you might have a file that is 30. No, you'll have a file that's 05.mpg. You'll have and that's for the minute. So if you're recording for 10 hours, you could have and it starts at 5 minutes after. You could have a file that's you could have a file that's 05, 05, 05, 05, 05, 05, 05. And then you have to look at the timestamp where you see that it is maybe 105, 205, 305, 405, 505. Really confusing. I have no idea why they did that, but I'm sure there was a reason. So their files on the SD card are very confusing. The timestamp is the only thing that's going to save you. I believe, I'm not sure. I've just been messing with this the last couple of days. I think that there is a night vision on, off, or auto. That's what it is. And I'm not really sure how well the auto switches. I'm sure it does okay. I can't talk about that. Indoors, the WYZE cam is incredible. The WYZE does a really good job. And for the price, you can't beat it. For the NOOIE Indoor 360, you can't beat the price for that either. And the neat thing about the NOOIE 360 indoor cam is that it will track all over the place. So if you have it at the back of a room, looking at the front door, if it sees somebody walk in the front door, it will track them from left to right and as the person's walking towards the camera. The problem happens is that if if somebody walks behind the camera and it wasn't tracking, I don't think the camera is going to detect the motion then. It's very, I could be wrong, but it seems very good at tracking unless you approach behind and then it doesn't know what to do. Maybe with sound detection on, it might detect it and then turn the camera around. I'm not sure. So WYZE Cam, I think, used to be $19. Now it's about $25. I'm not sure. I think the NOOIE 360 is somewhere around 30, 40 bucks. The WYZE Cam did fairly good for night vision, but even in the day, you can definitely see the difference in quality. I think they're both 1080p cameras. You can see the difference in quality and resolution with both cameras looking, I don't show it in this video, but with both cameras right next to each other looking across to the same point, the WYZE camera is more distorted, not as clear, resolution's not as good. And now we hear somebody's car alarm going off. Just what I don't need in my video. Well, that's going to anger people. Oh, they just shut it off. Okay, so what was I saying? So the WYZE Cam, when it's looking across the backyard, is definitely not as clear as the NOOIE outdoor cam. The NOOIE outdoor cam, as I said, I like their file stamping a lot better. They do not give you the option for they don't give you the option for auto night vision. It's just on or off. And I think that with the on, it switches automatically. That's their auto. So you cannot force it to go night vision during the daytime and get black and white, as you could with the WYZE Cam. What else is there? In the video, you're going to see the NOOIE Cam looking across the yard as I activate the night vision, the IR on the WYZE Cam. You'll see the WYZE Cam is sitting on the air conditioning unit, and you'll see the light come on. So here's the big surprise. In the video, at about 2:38, and you're going to see this on both cameras, at about 2:38 a.m., an animal comes in there. And I don't know if this is the raccoon or a skunk. I'm assuming it is a raccoon. And if it is, then that means the raccoons are back. I spoke with somebody who lives about like 4 or 5 houses down the block who's been talking to me for a long time about this. And she told me that maybe a couple months ago she started noticing some pooper in the backyard, just like used to be there a couple years ago when the raccoon problem was going on. And she said she talked to her son, and her son said it's a dog. And I said, come on, a dog's not going to jump over the fence so it can go poop. A dog's not going to hop a fence, a tall fence in the middle of the night anyways. And if it did, it wouldn't do that just to leave a deposit and then take off. So now we know, because she told me when I spoke with her today after I saw this on the video, she said that there was a gift left in the yard last night. And the gift was left right next to the gift that was left there a couple nights ago. So I did shoot video 2 nights ago, and there was no raccoon in the yard. And so I don't know when it shows up. It appears to crawl, I'm guessing. It probably crawls on the fence between the 2 sides of the street and goes between backyards. Again, for the review, it's not fair because the WYZE Cam is not an outdoor camera. I can admit that. That's the truth. And it's not meant to be sitting outside at night doing this kind of a video. So if that's all you have, I would say it's doable. It's not an outdoor cam. It's not meant for moisture or cold, and during the rain it would definitely fail. The NOOIE Cam, the NOOIE outdoor cam, is made for rain and for moisture and for cold. As far as audio, I believe both of them were recording audio. I don't know if the audio was any good, because that's not what I was testing for. Mainly, the reason I was testing is I wanted to see what is bouncing around on the ground at nighttime, because there are little itty-bitty holes all over the lawn, all over the dirt. It's not really a lawn. Lots of itty-bitty holes all over the dirt. I've got to finish this thing off. I'm going to run out of video soon. There are little itty-bitty holes, and I never saw anything that went into the ground, so I didn't know what the heck they were. And then finally I saw a deep hole, so I dug. I got out the pickaxe and broke open the ground. And about 8 or 10 inches down, I'm going to post a video on this. You'll see it if you look. I'm going to post it tonight or tomorrow. About 8 or 10 inches down is a really tiny little hole, just an itty-bitty hole going through this very hard rock adobe dirt. I don't know how they're able to break through this material. Even a shovel has a hard time. And so I broke the lawn apart for about 8 feet, because it's not really a lawn, just a lot of dirt. And I tracked this thing all over the place, and it's just a tiny little itty-bitty hole that he's barely able to get through. And it's not even a round hole, it's an oblong hole, left to right, sideways, oblong. And he or she crawls all around the yard, and you can track this thing everywhere. So what I did is I set up a couple traps in there, and obviously they didn't work. What is it called? They back pushed? He pushed out the dirt. He took the dirt and pushed it out of the tunnel and put the trap under dirt. So went back there with the video that you see now and set up. There was just a tunnel that was about a foot long, and I set a trap on both sides. You can see the raccoon. He goes over. He almost tries to push his body into one of them. Triggers both traps. At least now I know what's going on. Originally, when there were mice in this yard a couple years ago, all the mice were killed. But when there were mice in the yard, a bunch of traps were set up with peanut butter. Raccoons love peanut butter. The raccoon was going in the... I couldn't figure it out at the time, but it was the raccoon going in the yard, setting off all the traps, eating all the peanut butter. Same with the squirrels. In fact, when the raccoon trap was set over there, almost every morning a squirrel would go in there to eat the peanut butter and get trapped and just either chew... Unbelievable that it chewed the metal or separated it to get out. And I don't know how they were able to do that. One time I rushed over there when somebody called me, and I saw the squirrel in there. I opened it up, and this thing just flew across the yard to get away. And then it was in a big panic mode, frozen. So, and you cannot trap squirrels. It's illegal, so that's why, not only is it illegal, but they slam their body against the cage trying to get out. It's really sad to see. So you got to get over there really fast and get them out, or they will either not survive it or they'll rip the cage apart somehow to get out. Which is really interesting, that a squirrel was able to get out of the cage, but a raccoon wasn't. Okay, so I want to end the video saying that as far as the review of the two, I've done the indoor NOOIE 360, and I've done the WYZE cam, which is obviously the indoor. And the NOOIE 360 is much better indoors. Not that the WYZE is not a good cam, but again, the resolution is not as good for the NOOIE 360 indoor. As far as outdoor, the NOOIE outdoor camera is very good. I like the file system. I like the quality of the video. What I wish, I'm going to be really honest with this, what I wish they would do, how long have I been talking for? Hold on. Okay, I got to end this really soon. How long do I have? The video goes for, hold on. Video goes for, yikes. Sorry about that. Oh, I've already bypassed the time. Sorry. Okay, that's all right. Because that's why I'm doing the video, to get out the info. So you're just looking at a picture right now of something. What I wish NOOIE would do is I wish they would make a better camera. I wish they would make a better lens. I don't care if it's zoom. I wish they would make a better quality lens. The width, the wide angle, it's fine. But I think if they would make a better lens, better quality optics, a lot more control, not a lot, but a little bit more control with the app, they could compete with all of the cameras that are out there. There are some really good there's some good cameras out there. I just threw out my Amcrest. I had nothing but trouble with it. I couldn't get the DVR, the audio, the video recorder. I couldn't get it to work. Couldn't sync up the camera. The camera was able to sync, not sunk. The camera was able to sync with the video thing. Couldn't ever get it to sync with the app, and I just threw it away. I had another really good quality camera that I threw away because it was not Wi-Fi. All of this is being done on Wi-Fi, obviously. NOOIE outdoor cam, definitely worth the money. It's not cheap, I'll tell you. It's 74 bucks. It's not cheap, but if they would make an even better cam, they could compete in the market because their app is easy and very simple to use, and the video quality, as you see, is excellent for the average person that doesn't want to go out and spend a fortune. I see this stuff's a lot of trouble. This is why people set up the Nest and the Ring, because it's a lot easier. The only problem with all these Wi-Fi cameras is you've got to provide power to them. That you have to. This was done with 2 extension cords sitting out overnight, which is not a safe thing to do, but that's how I got the power to them. And I'm not saying that they should make a battery-operated cam. If they did, I think they would make a fortune. But you can't, all of this was continuous video. I don't know, I think there is, I could be wrong, but I think with the camera it is, I did continuous recording. I know that they have motion detection alerts. I don't know if they only run on motion. I don't know if the camera will detect motion and then start recording and then turn off. I'm not sure if either one of them will do that. But a full feature cam from NOOIE would be an awesome thing. Definitely worth the money. And I think at that point, especially a Wi-Fi cam, people would pay an electrician or a handyman to come in there and connect power if they were able to throw a camera like a NOOIE on a junction box outdoors. A lot of detail. I don't know if anyone's going to get through this. Leave a thumbs up, subscribe, like, share, leave a comment. Hopefully, thank you. Want to donate to my channel, ask for my PayPal info. I don't expect anyone's going to do that. If you shop on Amazon, I'm going to leave a bunch of affiliate links in the video description. Click on them before you do one of your orders. It will give me a few cents in my account. It will help me out. Thanks for watching. Leave your comments. And anybody who got through this whole thing, what the heck is that? Is that a raccoon or is that a skunk? I don't know. Thanks for watching, everybody.